The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet used the exterior of their real-life home, which was located at 1822 Camino Primero Drive in Hollywood, just
1822 Camino.
north of Martel. The other side, it actually turns into Martel. But the Nelson family home is the actual home of the short hilly street located in Hollywood, of Hollywood Boulevard, and it was just a half a mile east of the Grauman Chinese Theater. And the house was a short drive to the Hollywood Center Studios, where they actually recorded the TV show set for the show. Now, Rick Nelson and David Nelson attended Hollywood High School, which was also another, like a mile from where they lived. It's a very close by walk, where they could have walked to school, but it was very close to where they attended high school, because they attended the Hollywood High School, located on Highland Avenue. Oswald George Nelson, otherwise known as Ozzie Nelson, was an American actor, director, producer, screenwriter, musician, composer, conductor, and bandleader. He originated and starred in The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, a radio-and-television series with his wife and two sons, David and Ricky Nelson. He was born on March 20th, 1906 in Jersey City, New Jersey. Died June 3rd, 1975 in Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. He was married to Harriet Nelson from 1935 to 1975. His grandchildren was Tracy Nelson, Gunnar Nelson, Sam Nelson, Matthew Nelson, Eric, and Jude Crew.
But they actually used their own home for the exterior of the show for the
Sam Nelson, Matthew Nelson, David Blair Nelson, Terry Nelson, James Eric Nelson, Eric and John Nelson. His children was David Nelson and Ricky Nelson, and his siblings was Don Nelson. Harriet Nelson, formerly Hillard, born Peggy Lou Snyder on July 18th of 1909, died October 2nd, 1994, was an American singer and actress. Nelson is best known for a role on the sitcom The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet Nelson. She's buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Hollywood Hills. She was active from 1932 to 1989. Her spouse was Roy Sadley from 1930 to 1933, and Ozzie Nelson from 1935 to 1975. Her children was David Nelson, Ricky Nelson, relatives Christian Nelson was her daughter-in-law. Granddaughter was Tracy Nelson. Matthew Nelson was her grandson. Gunnar Nelson was her grandson. David Oswald Nelson was an American actor, director, and producer. He was born October 24, 1936 in New York, New York. Died January 11, 2011 in Century City, California. His children was Terry Nelson, James Eric Nelson, David Blair Nelson, John Nelson. He was married to Yvonne O'Connor Houston from 1975 to 2011 and June Blair from 1961 to 1975. His parents was Ozzie and Harriet Nelson. Grandchildren was Sean Woolery, Michael Woolery, Courtney O'Brien O'Hill. The children again was Terry Nelson, James Eric Nelson, David Blair Nelson, John Nelson, and Eric Nelson. Eric Hillard Nelson was born on May 8, 1940 and died December 31st, 1985. Known professionally as Ricky Nelson, was an American singer, musician, and actor. From the age of 8, he starred alongside his family on the radio and television series The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. In 1957, he began a long and successful career as a popular recording artist. The expression teen idol was the first coined to describe Nelson, and his fame as both a recording artist and television star also led to motion picture roles, co-starring alongside John Wayne, Dean Martin, and Angie Dickinson in Howard Hawks' Western feature film Rio Bravo. In 1959, he placed 53 songs on the Billboard Hot 100, and his predecessors between 1957 and 1973, including Poor Little Fool in 1950, which was the first #1 song on Billboard magazine and the newly created Hot 100 chart. He recorded 19 additional top 10 songs
of Ozzie and
hits
Harriet
songs
Nelson.
and was included in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on January
David
21st
and
of
Ricky Nelson.
1987. In 1996, Nelson was ranked
Went home
number
to listen
49
to
on TV
Street
Guide's 50
Ball.
greatest TV stars of all time. Now his children include Tracy Nelson, Gunnar Nelson, Sam Nelson, Eric, Jude Crew, and Matthew Nelson. The twin sons of Ricky Nelson experienced firsthand piercing emotional shock of unexpected death. Their father perished in 1985 plane crash. He was 45 and the twins were teenagers, Gunnar and Matthew Nelson, the twin sons of Ricky Nelson.
Now, this is 1822. And it goes all the way down. That's the driveway.
The long-running sitcom The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet was based on a radio show of the same name. Is one of the shows from the period that epitomised the values of the 1950s and early 60s. Through the all-American nuclear family, the series stars real-life married couple Ozzie and Harriet Nelson, as well as her sons David and Ricky. The focus of the series is the Nelsons' home life as they deal with the run-of-the-mill problems of families of the day faced. By the time the show went off the air, it had produced 435 episodes over 14 seasons. The first air date of the show was October 3rd of 1952. It starred Ozzie Nelson, Harriet Nelson, David Nelson, and Ricky Nelson. Production company was Stage 5 Productions, Volcano Productions, and ABC Productions, and it aired the original network that it aired on was ABC, distributed by American International Television, and related shows was Ozzie's Girls. Ozzie Nelson died of liver cancer in 1975. Rick Nelson died with six others in a plane crash on New Year's Eve of 1985. Nelson is survived by his wife Yvonne, sons John, Eric, James, and Danny, daughter Terry, and seven grandchildren. Nelson's marriage to Blair ended in divorce in 1975. That was David Nelson. Now, David Nelson died at the age of 74. He was the last surviving member of the TV sitcom The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, and he died in 2011. The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet began on a radio in 1944, focusing on the home life of the bandleader Ozzie Nelson and his vocalist wife Harriet Hillard. In 1949, the popular show became a true family affair when a 12-year-old David and an 8-year-old Ricky replaced the child actors who had been portraying them on radio. The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet moved to television 3 years later, debuting on ABC in October of 1952. The series ended in 1966 after 435 episodes. It had become the longest-running family situation comedy in TV history, as well as serving as the launchpad and showcase for teen idol Ricky Nelson's singing career. And the process of playing the fictionalized versions of themselves on television each week for 14 years, David and Rick Nelson literally grew up in front of Americans. Indeed, after David and Rick were married in the early 60s. Their wives, first David's wife, actress June Blair, and then Ricky's wife, the former Chris Harmon, became their TV wives. The blurring of what was real and what was not real caused confusion in some viewers' minds. When David enrolled at USC and joined the fraternity after graduating from Hollywood High School in 1954, his TV character started college and joined the fraternity. But unlike his TV character, who became a lawyer on the show, David did not go into law. Instead, he launched his career as a director by taking on the reins from the director father. For about a dozen episodes of the show in the early 1960s, he spent the next several decades directing commercials and occasional TV and movies. Now, The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet had been criticized for presenting the idolized version of the American family that few could live up to. That included the Nelsons as David pointed out in 1975 Esquire article headlined "The Happy, Happy, Happy Nelsons." We would keep up in front of the totally problemless, happy-go-lucky group, he said. There might have been a tremendous battle in our home, but if someone from outside came in, it would be as if the director yelled, "Roll 'em!" We'd all fall right into stage roles. It's an awfully big load to carry to everyone's fantasy family. He was born on October 24th, 1936 in New York City when Ozzie and Harriet was in their big band heyday. Rick was born in 1940, the year before the Nelsons moved permanently to Hollywood. After Ozzie and Harriet launched a radio show in 1944, David and Rick would accompany their parents to their live broadcast. They had no interest, showbiz aspirations, but when they heard of the young friend Lindsey Crosby was going to make their guest appearance with his father being in the episode of the show in December 1948, David and Rick lobbied their parents to let them appear as well. Ozzie and Harriet finally agreed to let them play David and Ricky in their preview show before the studio audience, but not the actual broadcast. As well as told the Times in 1981, "You're not anxious to put your career in the hands of your kids." The boys did not disappoint their parents. The boys didn't disappoint their parents. They just opened their mouths and they never heard such laughs, said Harriet. Ricky sounded like a pipsqueak. David and Ricky joined the cast of The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet in February 1949. Within 6 months, Radio Life magazine dubbed them the Crown Princess of Radio. Hollywood Says, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell and leave a comment on what you like and what you want to see. Hollywood Says.